What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And in this video, I gotta tell you, I'm not too happy. I'm not too happy. I want American money to stay in America. And, uh, you know, in this video, as you guys will know by now, the Senate advanced the House passed $95 billion foreign aid package. The package worsened division within the House GOP that could soon spark another speakership stalemate. Now the problem with all this is that we're almost about to hit the election season. Well, we are in the election season. The problem with this is that come November, we have no idea who's going to be the Speaker of the House. We don't even, and obviously beyond that, we don't know who the president's going to be and all that, whatever. They, Mike Johnson, I don't know what his deal is. I don't know why he's doing this. He's doing the most unconservative things ever, really. He's got Democrats on board and he's making deals and he's wheeling and dealing. But the reality is, excuse me, the reality is that this has never been done. A lot of stuff that he's doing has never been done. And I don't mean that in a good way either. It says the Senate on April 23rd voted to advance a $95 billion national security package that includes foreign aid for the war-torn nations of Ukraine and Israel, as well as the Indo-Pacific. The bills also include a measure to force TikTok to divest from its Chinese parent company to address national security concerns. A motion to order cloture and limit debate on the $95 billion funding package was passed by the Senate in an 80-19 vote, so almost completely unanimous. It is unclear when the final vote will be because one senator has the ability to delay the process, but the package is expected to pass. Senator Lindsey Graham told the Epic Times that he expects the final package to pass with hopefully north of 70 votes. Jeez. Not that I've ever been a Lindsey Graham fan, but jeez. President Joe Biden has urged the Senate to quickly pass the legislation, which he's expected to sign as soon as possible, per White House National Security spokesman John Kirby. Kirby said the White House will immediately disburse around $1 billion of the aid upon it being signed into law. This is ridiculous. This is your taxpayer money, guys. The bill's advancement through the upper chamber comes 3 days after the House passed the bills with bipartisan support over the objections of those among the GOP's right flank. The Senate now stands ready to take the next step, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer assured after the House vote, promising quick passage of the bills in the Senate. I thank Speaker Mike Johnson and Leader Hakeem Jeffries for working together to do the right thing for our country. I know it was a difficult road, but the House is on the right side of history for approving this bill, he added. Yeah, they're on the right side of history because they did what he wanted them to do. And that makes you question everything that Mike Johnson is doing, why he's doing it. I mean, do they have something on him? Because he's acting completely uncharacteristic of what he used to be. Together, the package includes $61 billion for Ukraine, $8.1 billion for the Indo-Pacific, and $26.4 billion for Israel and humanitarian aid for Gaza. It also includes a measure forcing Chinese divestment of TikTok and allowing the government to give seized Russian assets to Ukraine. This is heating up, you guys. This is heating up for real. The legislation faced fierce opposition from Republican members who felt that securing the southern border should take precedence over sending financial aid to foreign countries. And it should. And I think everyone here needs to agree with that sentiment. Because let's be honest, we have problems at home that need to get fixed. And if we can't fix ourselves, we can't help anyone else. If we're, for whatever reason, incapacitated or, God forbid, overthrown as a country, where are we going to be? How are we going to help anybody? It says, and those concerns have been echoed by some Republicans in the Senate. As the Senate passes on Tuesday what the House passed last night, we will have relinquished what little bargaining power we had left to secure the border, Senator Mike Lee told Fox News Sunday Morning Futures. Mr. Lee noted that part of the GOP strategy in holding off on additional Ukraine funding was to force Joe Biden's hand on the border. That didn't happen, and the Republican-led House of Representatives walked away from that yesterday, he said. It's unbelievable. They could have used it, as the guy said, as a bargaining chip, but he let it just go away. Don't know why. Still, Mr. Johnson told reporters that he felt bringing the bills to the House floor was the right move. I've done here what I believe to be the right thing, and that is to allow the House to work its will. And as I've said, you do the right thing and you let the chips fall where they may, he said after the package was passed. Mr. Johnson's willingness to join with Democrats on other recent bills had already fractured the House GOP and thrown his speakership into question. Now, with this latest move, he may have sealed his fate. I think Johnson is acting this way. I obviously don't know why, but he's pretty secure in this position right now because they really don't want to get into a vote that might not even be done in time before the election. So he's probably like, I'm gonna do this for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he's probably saying, I'm gonna do this, and that. And what are they gonna do about it? They can't do anything. Speaker Johnson refuses to use his power as Speaker of the House to do any type of negotiating to secure the southern border and stop the madness in our country. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene told Fox News, I love her. She's crazy. She is crazy, but I love her. Charging the Speaker with betrayal, the Congresswoman called on him to resign. Mike Johnson's speakership is over. He needs to do the right thing, to resign and allow us to move forward in a controlled process. If he doesn't do so, he will be vacated, she said. Oh, I love that crazy woman. She is amazing. She really is what we need. I wish we had another 50 of her. Then the Republican Party might have some balls, and I might actually be proud to call myself a Republican if that happened. But whatever. Her move to oust the Speaker, she added, is coming regardless of what Mike Johnson decides to do. Ms. Greene filed a motion to strip Mr. Johnson of the gavel last month as more of a warning and a pink slip, although a vote has yet to be triggered. Reps Thomas Massie and Paul Gosar have also voiced their support for the Speaker's removal. Doubling down on her position on April 22nd, Ms. Greene said GOP voters were fed up with the Republican leadership. Yep, we are. I've not seen people this angry since November of 2020, she said on Steve Bannon's War Room. The Congresswoman noted that the 2020 election angered Republicans for the many election integrity concerns it raised, but now, she said, their anger has reached a whole other level. I have to agree with her on this. And here's what really worries me, she said. They're done with the Republican Party. They are absolutely done with the Republican leadership like Mike Johnson, who totally sold us out to the Democrats. She's right. On everything she's saying, she's right here. She's right. And I know that some people are hate watching right now, and they're going to say, oh, she's a crackpot and this and that. You know what? They're conspiracy theories only because they have yet to be proven true. But most of what she says is 100% on point. Almost everything she says is on point. And that frustration could result in Republicans losing the House, Ms. Greene said, if the Speaker is not held to account. I don't know what's going to happen. You always got your independent voters that they affect everything the most. But we'll see. Mr. Jeffries, meanwhile, suggested earlier this month that some Democrats might step in to save Mr. Johnson if he brought the foreign aid package to the floor. But he stressed that he was making an observation, not a declaration, and that his conference would need to discuss the matter further. So now you've got Democrats willing to throw themselves on top of the grenade for Mike Johnson. Doesn't that make you go, what the fuck? That never happens. That never happens. Think back to Nancy Pelosi. Do you think that there was a single Republican that would have thrown himself on the sword, so to speak, just so that Nancy Pelosi would have kept her speakership? That never. There's something weird going on here. Something very weird. He's been too flexible with the Democrats. But Mr. Johnson, for his part, said he is unconcerned about the possibility of his removal. Of course he isn't, because he's done this. And he's done it at a time when he knows that an election, a race for a new speakership position would ruin the Republican Party. As I've said many times, I don't walk around this building being worried about a motion to vacate, he told reporters on April 20th. I have to do my job. We did. He is such a piece of shit, man. Oh, my gosh. President Biden has promised to sign the national security package if it lands on his desk. On an April 22nd phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he vowed to provide additional assistance as soon as the measure passes the Senate and becomes law, the White House said. In other words, guys, your tax dollars at work. They're not saving our country from the southern border. They're not stopping the flow of guns and drugs that are coming in. They're not stopping any of that. They're not stopping the flow of murderers, rapists, and all that other good stuff that, apparently we're receiving all the brightest, from down there, from the southern border, oh, man. It's just not going to stop, you guys. It's just really not going to stop like this. He's going to literally give the Ukrainian people as much money as they want. And that's a blank check. It'll never end. But that's just the way I feel, you guys. You know how to do, man. It's social media. So let me know, comment, like, share, subscribe. Let me know down below. I always speak with you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me this long. And as always, stay safe and stay based.